Hey everybody, and welcome back to SheffPlays Zombie Critique. In today's video we're talking about Nuketown Zombies. I almost completely forgot about this map, not for any bad reason, it always slipped my mind. It always does that it exists, but it's always a really nice reminder when I do see it. So yeah, we'll do what we usually do. Some pros, some cons, give a rating, and then let you know if I recommend playing it again. Or for the first time if you haven't. So excuse me, let's get into it. For pros, it's a solid map. I would call it a safe in-between between challenge and standard, where it's a little bigger than the maps we usually label challenge maps, but not quite as big as a standard map. So it's like a fine line, and I do enjoy it. It does have a really easy training spot if you just around the vehicles if you don't open up the fire truck. However, the fire truck does have Galvanuckles, AK-74U, and I believe Claymore in it. So it's up to you whether or not you open it. I never do, because it's just easier to train around that than for them to cut through it. But yeah. Wall weapons and perk locations. Wall weapons are spaced out pretty decently enough. There's one on the bus, one on the fire truck, and one on each house. And like I said, there's one inside the fire truck. I believe there's one in the top of the yellow house, and maybe one in the green house, but don't quote me on that because I don't really remember. Yeah, perk location is a bit different. So I was told it's every time you get 100 kills, but that cannot be right because Speed Cola didn't drop until round 22. And Pack-a-Punch I think was there from the very start, so I'm not exactly sure, but at some point or another perks drop randomly throughout the map. The locations are random, not the perks that drop. The perks that drop are always the same, but they are in random locations. There's several locations. There's a couple behind the yellow house, a couple behind the green house, one in the top of the yellow house, and one in the garage of the greenhouse. Which, fair enough. They all decent spots, not hard to re-get your perks if you get down, or you're playing with someone else and you get down. It's not really that challenging. It just depends on when they drop, and I guess if they drop, because if I hadn't have made it to 22, then I would have never seen Speed Cola. So yeah. Characters. There's not really characters for this map. You play as either the CIA or the CDC, who have all the same voice lines, which are just grunts. Whenever you dolphin dive, do a high jump, get hit, whatnot. Explosive damage, self-damage from the ray gun. They all just have the same grunting noises. There's not really any differentiation between them. So, it's alright. It is what it is. It's not like a big map rating dropper just because you don't have actual voice lines. Now some cons. Trying to think of some, because really, there's not a ton. I do think that the spawn drop for perks should be a little more dedicated, whereas it should happen like on a genuine system instead of random. I do think it's kind of cool that it's a random system, but at the same time, whereas Speed Cola didn't drop for me forever. Might not have been 22, it might have been a little before, but it is round going on 11 and it still hadn't dropped yet. Okay, this is 21 and I do have it, but I know it wasn't very long before then. So yeah, I think that definitely could be handled a little better. But yeah. Yeah, that's really all I have for cons for this map. It's not perfect, but it's really not a terrible map either, to be honest with you. It's solid for what it is. It's good for a quick game, and like I said, I always forget that it exists until I boot up Black Ops 2 Zombies and I see it again. It is a nice little reminder. It's fun for a quick game, or if you're really pushing it for the long haul for a map like this, that's impressive, and that's good too. So you know what, overall, I think I'm going to give Nuketown Zombies a 9. I think it's a solid experience. It's fairly quick, again, unless you're going for the long haul. It's a nice little in-between between a challenge map and a standard map, so if you don't feel like really delving into the longevity of a standard map, or the quite as quickness as a challenge map, but just want to have some fun on like a really cool map, I would definitely go with this. I think Nuketown is obviously a staple in Black Ops at this point, and for it to be a zombies map like this is really dope. And I do think, like I said with Mob, it deserves a proper remake, like a remaster, not remake. Alpha Omega's okay, but I love this one a lot more than Alpha Omega personally. I feel like Alpha Omega kind of lost some of its charm in terms of becoming something else. So yeah, if you haven't played it in a while, definitely recommend, and if you've never played it, I highly recommend. And if you don't have it, but you have Black Ops 2, it's only $5. It's not like you're paying for a full map pack for this one. It's just a solid standalone, and you know what? It's definitely worth the time. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day. See you in the next one, and until then, keep surviving. See ya.